What happens when a cartoon causes panic, outrage, or even
Cartoon episodes banned for controversial reasons.
medical emergencies? It gets banned. Today we'll look at cartoon episodes banned for being too controversial. My goal this year is to give you guys double the amount of videos that I upload for you guys, but it's actually turning out to be a more daunting task than I realized because, we're not some content farm or anything, but I am not going to give up, and it would really help if you subscribe so you do not miss any of our new videos. And I promise to do my best for you guys. I'm Visual Venture, and as always, you guys are awesome. Peppa Pig. In 2004, Peppa Pig released an episode called Mr. Skinny Legs. Kids loved it, but when parents saw it, they panicked because that episode told kids to do something that could be deadly. And this wasn't a small issue. Peppa Pig was influencing millions of children. Its official channel has over 40 million subscribers. It also has 30 billion views across 8,000 videos. So you can imagine how many kids watch it. Peppa Pig was made for preschoolers, and these kids are still learning how the world works. That means kids don't just watch Peppa, they copy her. So what dangerous lesson did this episode teach? In this episode, George finds a spider in the bathroom. Instead of running away, he picks it up.
George likes the spider. The spider likes George.
George shows the spider to Peppa, but when she sees it, she panics.
You have to help me with the tea party.
Bro, ain't you supposed to kill that spider, bro? I know some Australian people, they like to grab the spider and harmlessly remove the spider out of their homes. Well, any other person would kill that spider on the spot. So I'm trying to see where they're going with this.
Eventually, Daddy Pig comes to calm Peppa down. He calmly explains that spiders are very, very small and can't hurt you. So instead of getting rid of the spider, he encourages Peppa to befriend it. By the end of the episode, Peppa is about to have a tea party with the spider.
Mummy, Daddy, sit down. We are all going to have tea with Mr. Skinny Legs.
The message is straightforward. Kids shouldn't be scared of spiders because spiders are harmless. For most of the world, it was a reasonable lesson, but in Australia, it was unacceptable because Australian spiders aren't just scary, they're deadly. Australia reports...
See, that's how this one country I'm cool not going to, bro. Bro, I ain't trying to go to no motherfucking Australia, bro. I'm straight, bro. I hope I don't find some weird animals in any other place I want to go to. Some places in South America I want to go to, right? There are quite a lot of places in South America I want to go to for sure. And I hope I don't come across none of this weird shit, bro. Like, cause just randomly finding a snake in your bathroom, tarantulas and shit like that. That shit can be scary, bro. I'm definitely not trying to bump into one of those. I know Australia is a very known place for that, but any other place I'll go to, please, man, please, bro. I don't want to wake up and just, walk into a place and see some weird insect, bro, or weird animal there, bro. Bro, what? That's scary as fuck, bro. I'm good, bro. That's mad, bro. And it's crazy. Why Australian people feeling the type of way about this? Yeah. Where is the show from? Is it from Australia?
For 2,000 serious spider incidents every year. Some of the world's most poisonous spiders live there. One bite from the wrong one can end a person in minutes.
Whoa. You see, this is what I used to think about every single spider when I was a kid, bro. I used to think that any spider in the world, don't matter what spider it is, if he bites you, that's it. I used to think that though. I used to genuinely think that, like, if you get got by any spider, that's it. Any spider, don't matter what spider it is, bro.
Kids to treat spiders like friends in this case was a very bad idea. Luckily, parents in Australia noticed the episode quickly. They went on a campaign to get it banned. Australia's public broadcaster...
Wait, did the article just say Peppa Pig?
The episode quickly. They went on a...
Ban Peppa Pig. Is Peppa Pig. How the fuck the article was gonna get that wrong? Damn, Peppa Pig is crazy.
campaign to get it banned. Australia's public broadcasters, ABC and Nick Jr., were the first to ban the cartoon. They said it sent the inappropriate message that spiders are friendly and not to be feared. But they didn't stop there. Another Peppa Pig episode featuring the same spider character was also banned in Australia. It became an unofficial policy, no spider-friendly messages on Australian TV. If you know this next cartoon, you'd be surprised that it is surprisingly vulgar for what it's supposed to be. Dexter's Laboratory. Dexter's Laboratory was one of
Oh shit, who remember Dexter Laboratory? Hey, Dexter Laboratory was my shit, bro. I watched the hell out of that show when I was a kid. So they banned the Dexter Laboratory, bro? That was my shit, bro. What are they talking about, bro? Why they banned the Dexter Laboratory, bro? Dexter Laboratory was actually goated. Why they ban that though? That's crazy. No way they banned that.
Network's biggest shows. But people don't know that one episode was loaded with so much profanity that it had to be buried. It's shocking because the concept of the show was so innocent. Dexter's Laboratory was about Dexter, a boy genius with a secret lab under his bedroom. But one person made his life a living hell. His loud, annoying sister.
Yeah, now I'm thinking of streaming this on TikTok as well. Hold on, let me see if I can do it real quick.
The series started in 1995, but just 2 years later, in 1997, they created the most offensive episode ever. The episode was titled Rude Removal, and as soon as you see the title card, you'll know there's a problem. Dee Dee flips the middle finger, and Dexter moons the camera. The story wasn't any better. Dexter is fed up with Dee Dee's rude behavior, so he builds a machine to remove her behavior literally. He's going to zap the rudeness out of her.
This machine has the ability to remove and contain the most annoying personality trait known to man: rudeness.
But Dee Dee refuses to cooperate.
Oh yeah? You're the rude one, brother.
Dexter and Dee Dee fight and fall inside the machine together. That's when it goes from bad to worse. The machine malfunctions. Instead of removing their bad behavior, the machine duplicates them. Now there's a polite Dexter and a polite Dee Dee. And there's a rude Dexter and a rude Dee Dee. And when I say rude, I mean vulgar.
The fuck?
Let up, Ollie. Beats the crap out of me. Why, you're in Dexter's laboratory, silly.
The rude versions of Dexter and Dee Dee drop the F word over and over again.
Wait, did they? Wait, I missed this episode, but what happened?
And a rude Dee Dee. And when I say rude, I mean vulgar.
To remove and contain the most annoying personality trait.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work, guys. We're just gonna continue
But
with
Dee
the
Dee
stream.
refuses to cooperate.
Oh yeah? You're the rude one, brother.
Dexter and Dee Dee fight and fall inside the machine together. That's when it goes from bad to worse. The machine malfunctions. Instead of removing their bad behavior, the machine duplicates them. Now there's a polite Dexter and a polite Dee Dee. And there's a rude Dexter and a rude Dee Dee. And when I say rude, I mean vulgar.
Let up, Ollie. Beats the crap out of me. Why, you're in Dexter's laboratory, silly.
The rude versions of Dexter and Dee Dee drop the F word over and over again.
Oh dear.
The episode was finished and ready to air on TV. The last step was Cartoon Network's approval. Executives watched the final cut and they were horrified. They banned the episode on the spot. They didn't even show it to a test audience. They just pulled it. Rude Removal never aired on TV, but animators mentioned it in interviews. But they had no footage to back up their claims. For years, fans assumed Rude Removal was just a rumor. Then in 2013, Cartoon Network broke the silence. They confirmed the episode was real and they were going to put it online. Even after the announcement, some fans refused to believe it. They left comments like, "It doesn't exist. Prepare to be disappointed." When are you people gonna realize that Rude Removal doesn't exist? But Cartoon Network wasn't bluffing. They uploaded the full episode online through Adult Swim. It was raw and uncensored, exactly as it was made in 1997.
Hey, watch where you're throwing that. Let's go.
The video went viral, and today you can find Rude Removal with a quick search on Google. Up next is a cartoon that played too much with the devil. Darkwing Duck. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, America was in the middle of something called the Satanic Panic. At the time, people
Damn,
believed that
bro.
cults
What is going on here?
trying to recruit and harm kids. One of the biggest fears was that TV shows were filled with hidden messages designed to lure children into the occult. And right in the middle of that satanic panic, Disney released a cartoon where a child made a deal with the devil. It went as badly as you'd expect. The controversial episode aired in October 1992 on the Darkwing Duck TV show. Darkwing Duck followed Drake Mallard, a mild-mannered duck by day, but at night he became a superhero called Darkwing. Each episode showed him fighting criminals while trying to raise his daughter Gosselin. But one episode went in a direction no one expected. It was titled Hot Spells. In the story, Gosselin visits a magic school. Almost immediately, she was bullied by the mean kids at school. Upset and alone, she wanders through the halls. That's when she meets the school janitor. But this isn't a normal janitor. For starters, he had a strange name.
Bring Yorick in, will you? The name's Beelzebub, chief custodian.
His name is BLZ for Beelzebub. Now, Beelzebub isn't a made-up cartoon character. He's very real. In the Bible, he's Prince of Devils. In many other religions, Beelzebub is one of the 7 princes of hell. That means he's a very powerful and dangerous demon. So in this cartoon, the janitor is Beelzebub in disguise. He realizes that Gosselin is struggling and offers to help. He leads her into a secret library filled with forbidden spell books, and he convinces her to cast a spell. Gosselin reads from one of the books and casts a dark spell. She feels powerful. She thinks she's becoming a real magician. But there's one thing Beelzebub hasn't told her. Using that dark spell.
Yo, that's wild, bro. I'm glad. If anything, this was worse than anything we've seen so far, bro. This was definitely a legit removal. Definitely worse than the last 2, Dexter and Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig wasn't even that deep. Peppa Pig wasn't even that deep, but I get it. Kids will really watch it and they can let that get to their heads. Fair enough. But this is deep. This is deep. Especially if you grow up in a religious home. Boy, this shit ain't it. This shit ain't it.
Drawing power from him. Without realizing it, Gosselin just made a deal with the devil. Eventually, Beelzebub drops the disguise and reveals his true form.
That is horrendous. What? Where
do you think your power came from, huh?
From there, the story gets more unsettling. Beelzebub tries to drag someone to hell.
Nah, son. That ain't it at all.
Darkwing tries to stop him. A lot happens, but in the end, they defeat Beelzebub. It was obviously a weird story, but somehow Disney approved it and it aired on TV. The backlash was instant. The moment it aired, phone lines at ABC lit up. Parents were furious. They saw a little girl gaining power by making a deal with a demon. To them, the cartoon made it look like working with the devil had rewards. During the height of satanic panic, that message was explosive. Many parents...
Bro, that's crazy, bro. This is so beyond fucked up.
They believed TV was pushing kids toward the occult. Now they felt like they had proof. ABC panicked. Disney pulled the episode the very next day. They refused to rerun it, sell it, or stream it anywhere. The only copies that exist today are the ones people recorded on VHS the night it aired. This next cartoon has been banned for nearly 100 years.
Whoa.
Mickey Mouse.
Whoa! Mickey Mouse? Nearly 100 years, bro? Mickey Mouse did come out in the 1920s, right? Some shit like that, right? Was it 1920s, maybe 1930s or some shit like that? Nah, that's way too far. When did Mickey Mouse come out, though? What year? I go research, though, like... Because nearly 100 years sounds legit, though. Mickey Mouse be old, though, like...
Mouse cartoons followed the same pattern. Mickey got into trouble. He found a way out. Everything ended on a happy note. That formula made Mickey Mouse a hit from the late 1920s into the early 1930s. Then Disney made a mistake. They broke the pattern. And what they created was so disturbing that theaters refused to show it. It became one of the first cartoons ever banned. The controversial cartoon came out in 1933. It was titled The Mad Doctor. The cartoon begins with Mickey waking up to strange noises. His dog Pluto is crying because he's being kidnapped by a hooded figure. The kidnapper drags
a mouse that owns a dog. Alright, man, you gotta love the concepts of these creators, bro. This is different. A mouse that owns a dog, bro.
Dog through the woods. It's a scary scene with wind, thunder, and lightning. Pluto is taken into a dark castle. Inside, the hooded figure removes his cloak. It's the Mad Doctor, a crazy scientist obsessed with animal experiments. And he kidnapped Pluto for his next experiment. The Doctor plans to cut off Pluto's head, sew it onto a chicken's body, and see if the creature can lay eggs that hatch into puppies.
What the fuck? Yo. That's weird, bro. This is weird, bro. Nah, son. He's getting more and more dark, bro. He's getting more and more dark. As we proceed to the next video, dog, he's getting more and more dark, bro. What?
And that's the actual plot of a Mickey Mouse cartoon. In the lab, Pluto and a chicken are strapped to operating tables. The experiment is about to begin. Meanwhile, Mickey races through the castle to rescue his dog, but it's a trap. The Mad Doctor captures Mickey and ties him down. Then he lowers a massive buzzsaw toward Mickey's body. He wants to chop Mickey in half. Mickey can't break free. Then just before it's too late, Mickey wakes up. It was all a dream. Mickey is in his bedroom and Pluto is safe. The dog runs into Mickey's arms. So why on earth did Disney make such a terrifying cartoon?
It was a dream. Damn. More like a nightmare. But still, like, what? Nah, brother, that was fucking mad.
Well, they said it was supposed to be a tribute to classic horror movies like Frankenstein. But viewers didn't care about the tribute. They only cared about how disturbing it felt. Back in the early 1930s, most people didn't have TV sets at home. So cartoons like Mickey Mouse were shown in theaters. Theaters in the US were the first to see the Mad Doctor.
Wait, when was this?
Back in the early 1930s, most people...
Yeah, that's definitely nearly 100 years. 1930s? They really didn't have TV. So you had to see how times change now, bro. We even got access to channels. This is how much we've elevated. Like, there was no TVs. To go from that to this is a crazy change, bro. You had to go out to watch some shit on TV. You went from that to having access to channels, to waiting for a channel to come on or a program to come on, right? To now having full-on access to these programs. You can watch. I can go back. Look, I can go back to whatever information I missed. I can go forward. Can skip. We couldn't do that before. Might come to a time where cinema might not even be a thing no more. Cinema, it will come to a time that, bro, it's probably come to this time already. When there's a new movie anyway, Netflix comes on, they'll put on Netflix, bro. They'll put on Amazon Prime, whatever. It's come to that point when there's a new movie, we already got access to that new movie anyway. It's come to that point now, it's come to that point. So what am I talking about? I feel like technology is so beyond advanced at this point that, yeah, even new movies now we got access to where we can skip and watch as much as we like, whatever. Yeah, it's cut to that point now. But before, you really had to watch it. You didn't even have access to your own shit. There was no TVs, bro. Damn, bro. Like, this was a different kind of time, bro. Nearly 100 years later, that's a long time. So I feel it.
Didn't have TV sets at home, so cartoons like Mickey Mouse were shown in theaters. Theaters in the US were the first to see the Mad Doctor, and they disliked it so much that many flat out refused to play it. The theaters said it looked too scary for kids. Some other countries felt the same. In the UK, the Board of Film Censors banned it. Then Germany banned it too. Clearly people didn't love this cartoon. After that, the Mad Doctor disappeared. Disney put it aside and stopped promoting it. But it didn't disappear forever. For some reason, folks at Disney didn't set up the copyright for the Mad Doctor properly, and that copyright error allowed it to slip into the public domain. That's why today you can find the Mad Doctor on YouTube. It's one
of you can.
The few Mickey cartoons that you can legally watch for free. This next cartoon was so disturbing, it never even made it to the screen.
Oh my
Teenage
days.
Mutant Ninja...
Oh, it's getting darker, bro. These are the fucking cartoons I watched, bro. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Turtles 2003.
Damn, bro. Come on, dog. What else is next? What else is next, bro? Samurai Jack? Come on, bro. Samurai Jack, I can see Samurai Jack being on the list as well. Samurai Jack might just be next. Samurai Jack was really just a straight up anime. That shit wasn't even a cartoon, but they put that shit on cartoon. But Samurai Jack was a serious cartoon. That was way that was too much to be just a cartoon, bro. That shit should have been an anime from the jump. So if they pull Samurai Jack, I ain't even gonna be surprised, bro.
If you grew up in the 2000s, you probably watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The show followed 4 turtle brothers who fight crime. It was action-packed and perfect for kids, but in 2005, one episode pushed the show into nightmare territory. It was titled Insane in the Membrane, and it centered around one character, Baxter Stockman. Baxter started out as a genius scientist, but he worked for Shredder, the Turtles' main enemy. Every time Baxter failed, Shredder punished him with surgery. Each failure cost him a part of his body. By the time this episode begins, Baxter isn't even human. He's just a brain and a spine floating inside a glass tank. But Baxter refuses to give up. He wants to rebuild his body. However, a friend warns him about the dangers. Rebuilding a body from scratch could damage his mind. Baxter doesn't care. He's a genius, and he finds a way to clone a new version of himself. And at first, it works perfectly. He can walk, he can speak, he feels human again. Then his new body starts to fall apart, literally. His skin, his fingers, and his face begin to disintegrate. As his body decays, so does his mind.
This experiment is a catastrophe!
By the end of the episode, Baxter has completely lost his mind. It no longer feels like a kid's cartoon. It feels more like a psychological horror. The Ninja Turtles cartoon was rated TV Y7. That means the show is designed for kids over age 7. This episode went far beyond that rating. It showed a mental breakdown and emotional torment. It was extreme even for adults. Fox executives watched the final cut before it aired. They were reportedly horrified. They said there was no way they could air the episode, and that was it. The Insane in the Membrane episode vanished. But not completely. It didn't air in the United States, but a few months later, it quietly aired in the UK. Fans recorded the episode on VHS tapes and uploaded it onto the internet. That's how it began to spread. Over time, Insane in the Membrane became a legend. It was a banned Ninja Turtles episode that most fans couldn't find. Nearly a decade later, in August 2015, Nicktoons finally aired it in the US. This was its first official broadcast. The cartoon in our next chapter aired it before it got banned, and it triggered one of the messiest controversies in kids' TV. Tiny Toon Adventures. Tiny Toon Adventures was about the adventures of young cartoon characters. They lived in the same world as Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Porky Pig. Like most cartoons, it tried to teach kids important lessons. In 1991, the show picked a very sensitive topic: alcohol. They wanted to show children the dangers of drinking, but the way they handled it made the episode extremely disturbing. The episode was part of a 3-story special called Elephant Issues. One of those segments was titled One Beer, and it got straight to the point. It opens with Buster Bunny, Plucky Duck, and Hampton Pig hanging out inside a house. These 3 cartoon characters are kids. They open the fridge and look at their options.
Juice, milk, soda, or a cold one.
They find a bottle of beer and debate whether to drink it.
Buster, this isn't like you. I know, but in this episode, we're showing the evils of alcohol.
Eventually, they gulp it down. Just 1 beer. Within seconds, they're stumbling around. Because of the alcohol, they're not thinking straight, so they steal a police car. If that isn't bad enough, they drive the car straight off a cliff. There's a huge explosion. The next shot shows the 3 of them floating up into heaven. That's the whole story.
Whoa.
1 drink, 1 car crash, 1 trip to the afterlife. Before it ends,
That's crazy. What the fuck?
characters make sure the audience hears the lesson, just in case some didn't get it.
I hope the kids got the message. Yeah, drinking's uncool. So do we get
How can they have a happy ending like that, bro?
a funny episode tomorrow? I hope so.
The creator of the show later explained what they were trying to achieve. He said the segment was a parody of old public service announcements, the kind that used over the top to scare kids straight. But parents didn't see it as a parody, and they didn't feel like the lesson about alcohol made sense. To them, it was a shocking story where everyone dies in the end. After the episode aired, angry parents bombarded the network with complaints. Cartoon characters getting wasted, crashing a cop car, and passing away wasn't suitable for kids.
At all. That's creepy as fuck. If anything.
Had no choice. They banned the episode. It never aired in the United States again. Fox Kids also removed it from syndication. That means that other channels couldn't buy the rights to show it anymore. It wasn't even on VHS or DVD collections. The goal was to erase One Beer completely, but some viewers recorded it the night it aired in 1991. Years later, that VHS copy made its way into the internet. That's the only reason we can still watch One Beer today. Kids, cartoon characters losing their lives is bad, but this next episode allegedly caused a real-life tragedy. Beavis and Butthead. A scene in a cartoon was blamed for costing someone their life, and that cartoon is still popular today. Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead is about two dumb teenagers who cause chaos wherever they go. When they are out causing trouble,
Basically GTA characters, huh? That's what I'm looking at here.
sitting on the couch binge-watching TV. The jokes on the show were
Trevor and Michael.
edgy, the kind of humor teenagers love. But in 1993, one episode pushed things too far. It was titled Comedians. The Comedians episode begins like any other. Beavis and Butthead are watching TV, laughing at whatever comes on. They see a stand-up comedian on screen, and they're inspired. Suddenly, they decide they want to be comedians too. Most people would write jokes or practice before going on stage. But Beavis and Butthead don't think that far ahead. They head out to a local comedy club with no preparation. Once they're on stage, the disaster begins. Butthead goes first.
What's green and red and goes 100 miles an hour? A frog in a blender. Get it?
Nobody laughs. He tries other jokes, but the crowd boos and kicks him off stage. Beavis goes next. His jokes also fail. People walk out in frustration. In his desperation, Beavis does something reckless. He sets the newspapers on fire and starts juggling. And then the club burns to the ground. That was a joke. He played with fire and burnt down a building. It was supposed to be another edgy joke. This time, it didn't stay a joke. 1 month later, a 5-year-old boy from Ohio found a lighter in his family's mobile home. He started playing with it, and the fire broke out. By the time it was over, his sister was gone. She was only 2. The tragedy shocked the country, but what came next shocked people even more. The victim's mother claimed her son loved watching Beavis and Butthead. Reporters connected the house fire to the episode Comedians. They figured that the cartoon taught the boy to play with fire. In other words, they were blaming Beavis and Butthead for the tragedy.
How's that meant to be a joke, bro?
Media ran with the story. Suddenly, Beavis and Butthead wasn't just crude, it was dangerous. Even the town's fire chief spoke out. He said, if you get these cartoon characters saying it's fun to play with fire, this is going to stick in that kid's mind. MTV went into crisis mode. They removed every fire-related scene from the show. Even old episodes were re-edited. Beavis had a catchphrase, fire, fire.
Fire, fire.
MTV cut it out completely. They
The fuck?
changed it to Friar Friar. They also pushed Beavis and Butthead to a later time.
That's still bad, bro. Fry is still bad, bro.
Then they added a new disclaimer before every episode, warning kids never to imitate Beavis and Butthead. But the backlash kept growing. It still felt like MTV hadn't done enough, so the network banned the Comedians episode completely. It never aired on TV again. When the episode finally came out on DVD, the fire scene was cut. The original version survived only because fans taped it when it was first aired. But there's a final twist in the story. So remember the kid who started the fire in the trailer? He grew up, and years later in 2008, he revealed the truth. He said his family never had cable. They couldn't afford it. So he couldn't have watched Beavis and Butthead. But why did his mother lie?
What the
he
fuck?
said,
What a plot twist. Never watched it?
she made it up because she had substance issues and wanted attention. But the worst revelation was this. After the fire started, his mom called a news station before calling the fire department. By the time anyone learned the truth, it didn't matter. For years, people blamed Beavis and Butthead for the tragedy. The damage was done. The next episode on this list is banned everywhere on Earth. That's how bad it is. Pokemon.
Really? I didn't watch Pokemon like that, but Pokemon was pretty popular though. How they banned that?
Cartoons aren't supposed to send kids to the emergency room, but in 1997, one episode of Pokemon did exactly that. To understand how that happened, you need to know the characters on the show. I mean, I assume you know them already, but just in case. The series followed a boy named Ash Ketchum. He traveled the world catching magical creatures called Pokemon. His favorite was Pikachu. Pikachu was like a yellow mouse that could generate bursts of electricity. In almost every episode, Pikachu battled other Pokemon as they traveled, and during one of those battles, the problem happened. The episode was titled Electric Soldier Porygon. It was first aired in Japan in December 1997. In the episode, Ash and his friends meet a strange Pokemon named Porygon. It's a creature made entirely of data. Eventually, Ash and his friends bump into the bad guys on the show, Team Rocket.
Team Rocket! The Pokemon Center is in panic because of you guys. Stop it right now!
They get into a fight, and during the battle, Pikachu releases an electric blast. That moment created a crisis for viewers. To animate Pikachu's power, the studio used bright red and blue flashing lights. The lights flickered rapidly, faster than the eye could handle. This is a scene with the flashing removed. The scene lasted just a few seconds, but the effects were instant. Across Japan, kids watching the episode began collapsing. Some had seizures, some passed out, others struggled to breathe. Paramedics raced from home to home. Hospitals couldn't keep up. The press called it Pokemon shock. By the end of the night, 685 kids were hospitalized, all because of one scene in a cartoon. Pokemon was pulled from TV immediately. The show didn't return for 4 months. Even the government got involved. Japan introduced new rules restricting flashing lights in cartoons. Electric Soldier Porygon was banned worldwide. It never officially aired anywhere again. This episode holds the Guinness World Record for most seizures caused by a TV broadcast. It even became a pop culture reference. In one episode of The Simpsons, the family visits Tokyo. They turn on the TV and Bart asks,
Isn't this that cartoon that causes seizures?
It was funny, but the real event was tragic. For hundreds of viewers, that Pokemon episode was the most dangerous cartoon ever broadcast. And friends, if you see something inappropriate for kids online, report it. Especially now with the internet being so much more advanced than many of these cartoons. Because you never know, that could make a bigger difference in a kid's life than you think. Visual Venture. So we talked about controversial cartoons for kids, but if you want to take it up,
That's crazy. That's wild.